hands up and then go back downstairs.
Yeah.
All right. There's times there you could have gone second and 3 phase.
Yeah.
You know he's got to throw a shot and anger, but just don't be silly getting caught with anything on the way in. All right. Showed him too much respect that round, Micah.
Okay.
What a corner. Joe Gallagher, Russ Amber, legendary cuts man who works with Alexander Usyk, and there's a legend of British boxing, Miss GB, the wonderful Tasha Jonas, steering Mikey Talon, this 20-year-old in the predominantly gold trunks with the red and blue from Liverpool, trying to notch up his 11th straight professional win. Had a good start, but he's tough, this Fazan Shahid, and he's giving it a real go. He's doing what he can.
Yeah, he is, and I did think this before this fight, the record, he's better than his record suggests, Shahid. You know, he's got nice high guard, he can punch a little bit, he's never been stopped. But Talon, just Joe Gallagher there, just saying he showed a bit too much respect in that opening round, and that's what I'd like to see him do. No need to take silly risks early, but just get into your flow.
Good body shots from Talon again. Shahid's got 4 victories on the slate, but he's been on the small hall shows. He's 33, and Talon, well, he's been guided for the big time, but Shahid is competitive here, and that's great to see, Barry.
Yeah, it is, and I think he's doing really well here. He's not winning the rounds here. Talon's just ability a little bit sharper, and like the way he's put his down and put his punches together here. Talon's a lovely right hand. That right hand's his best weapon. Talon really is. Everything's behind the jab, but when he threw that good body shot, where you mentioned, he threw a right hand after it, which was a better shot.
There's the doubling up with the jab and the left hook. He's got the classier moves. But Shahid, I watched him in the workouts. You can't learn much in the week, but he was throwing his shots really well on the pads, and he's looking very tough, and he's standing right in front of Talon. He's not as talented, but he's game.
Yeah, I agree with you. Look capable, didn't he, at the workout? You could see he had a good shape about it, and there was one that hurt him there, body shot.
Yep, these body shots beginning to have an effect, surely, on Shahid, who's been really tough and brave.
And he's not digging them in, he's ripping them across, and that's where they're catching him on. There's a good right-hander there for Shahid. Again, always fighting back. He's more than just tough. He's technically pretty good.
Barry, it's a good little fight, this, isn't it?
I think for Talon, who's no 10-0, this is the sort of fight that he needs, a competitive fight. I think he's a guy who knows how to shape up, who knows how to throw his punches with pretty good timing, and also the age. He's in his 30s, he's physically mature, and so Talon won't be able to bully him like he maybe could have, a younger, fresher fighter.
On what platform, though, flip it to Shahid again. An opportunity to rip up the script and, get a notch under your belt like this. He's going to give it absolutely everything, and rightly so.
It's not good from Talon, though. He's not panicking. Everything's working for him, but he's not losing his shape. He's still working behind the jab.
Good work with the left hand, and that again gets through the guard of this very brave Fazan Shahid, who's trying his best in there, and it's great to see. Well, it's not just boxing we have on DAZN for you.
Watch the National League on DAZN and follow your club all season long, because it's not just a game, it's your badge. Witness heart, passion and pride with every game live or on demand. 1-0 up or 2-0 down. Home or away, it's on. Plus action from the North and South Leagues. Watch on DAZN and follow your club.
National League on DAZN, and don't forget, for those of you watching on YouTube, remember to scan your QR code so you join us on the app on DAZN for the full night here. There are fantastic fights, all building up to the big one. The rematch we've all been waiting for. Eubank Jr. Benn in a few hours' time. But these two are right down to business, and they're trying to make their own dreams come true. Mikey Talon from Liverpool, Fazan Shahid from Bradford. Talon, Darren, is winning the rounds, but he's winning them hard.
Yeah, it's competitive, and I'm so glad to see Shahid really give this everything. We've spoken about the opportunity here for him and what doors it could open. Even in defeat, you give a good account of yourself. I'm sure you get matched again on a big card, but Talon, a really, really good fighter. When he goes through the gears, looks a real class act.
Yep, Lee Jones, ABC. He's registered at the club, lives near the gym on Vauxhall Road during the days at the Champs Camp with Joe Gallagher. He's got relatives in boxing. He was always going to punch for pay, the 20-year-old, but this 33-year-old, Fazan Shahid, is trying everything he knows in there, and he's in no way phased, trying to get out of the way of that jab and the right hand, and really nice work from Talon.
Yeah, looks physically strong, doesn't he, Shahid? He's got 13 years on Talon, so there's that maturity there, but we've already seen now that right hand again, really working a treat, looking for it over the jab of Shahid. Nice jab, though.
Well, he gets low, Shahid, quite effectively. That's the shot there, but you got to land with that jab to the body before he throws that right hand over the top. And I think that's his way in. That's his way to just to take the confidence away from the jab of Talon, which is working quite well. A bit more weight on the jab I'd like to see from Talon, maybe stepping a little bit with it, but it's still an effective weapon. That's, if he's not setting up his combinations, it's making Shahid just reset a little bit.
That was better, exactly what he said there. He stepped in, didn't he, behind the double jab, and that allowed him to find the right uppercut.
But back comes Shahid as well. Blood from both of their noses in the third round here. It's that spearing jab of Talon that keeps pumping out.
I'd just like to see him move his upper body just a little bit more, Talon. Not too much, because he punches from a foot, a shape where he needs to keep his shoulders square, but just a little bit of a dip now and again.
Barry, that's exactly what Joe Gallagher pulled him up just ever so slightly for at the end of the first round. Upright, just relax the shoulders a little more.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, a little bit, but not too much, because you want to be punching from that sort of height. But just a little roll now and again. If anything, just gives Shahid a target to, like, he has to zone in it rather than just know where it is.
Lovely body shot from Talon, but a right back from Shahid, and then he walks into a left hook. Good action here in the first fight of the night between Mikey Talon and Fazan Shahid, who's taking his opportunity under the lights. It's great to see. And the celebrities are out in force. We've got one who's quite close to the boxing business. He's with Jamie.
With Mr. Ollie Mers here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ollie, you've been a close friend of Sam Gillies for a number of years now. What an opportunity for him tonight to win that British title.
Huge, really exciting time for us all. You know, he's worked really hard the last 11 years to make this dream a possibility, and all he's ever wanted from the moment he started boxing was the British title, so it's here tonight.
How are your nerves as a friend when you watch him ringside?
Well, every year, every fight we go to, it just gets a little bit harder, because you know, we know that the levels got higher, and it comes down to really small percentages. So I'm nervous for him, but I know that he's prepared mentally and physically for this fight. So yeah, I can't wait.
I know you're a Man United fan, just finally, but a night to remember, hopefully, for you all at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah, no, you know, I said that to him coming to today. I'm a Spurs fan with you, so I hope it all goes well, and I'm sure it's going to be a great night and a great fight.
Top man, Ollie, enjoy.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Jamie. Great to see Ollie Mers. I was sitting in front of him at the press conference the other night, and all the team were dressed impeccably in their blue. There were loads of them in the Tottenham jackets. It's a great night for Sam Gillies, isn't it?
It really is. He said all the right words. I think it was at the media workout. This is my city. I'm not going to let this opportunity slip. And Ollie Mers, he come on the platform. He was a lovely guy.
Best mate, didn't he?
Lovely guy.
Oh,
yeah, Barry knew BFF.
And he can fight a bit, I'm told.
And passionate about the sport as well. He knew his boxing.
He can't fight. Ridiculous. He can sing a little bit.
You can't with your right hand at the moment.
Let's not go on about this now. I can fight you, though. That's the main thing.
Good body shot there from Fizzy. You missed that, Barry. Wow.
I saw it. It was a lovely little left uppercut there. But I mean, I think he needs to have the pace here. You're allowing the technically better fighter, not by a lot, but by enough, to box at his pace, and that's talent. So you've got to rush him, especially because he's younger. Make him rush his work. Drag him into a bit, use that physicality, as Darren mentioned, and it'll make it a bit more physical. But you've got to just put a bit more pressure on him.
Yeah, a few feints there from Talon as well. I'd like to see him punch off of those. And sometimes we're talking about standing upright. Certainly after he throws shots, he at times, and you can get in the habit of doing this, admiring your own work. So make sure you move your head or your feet after you've let your shots go. Don't be there to get caught, but an awful lot to work with.
Yeah, 5th fight of the year as well for the 20-year-old. He's keeping busy Fazan Shahid coming off a victory in February over Stephen Maguire. He lost to Maguire early in his career, but he got revenge. So he's not been active, but he's been active enough tonight. He stood right in front of Talon, gloves high, trying to poke out shots where he can. Plenty of courage, and that's a lovely one on the inside from Talon, and back to the jab. He does a great deal well.
Yeah, do you know what? There's good variation with that lead hand. He'll sort of push off with it, he'll stab it to head and body quick, and he'll feint. A lot of work with that lead hand is very impressive.
The slip of the shoulder before Talon threw that left hand was lovely. Just dipped inside, just a little turn. Again, just relaxing the shoulders, a little bit more upper body moving there, allowing to slip inside punches, and gives you more confidence to be a little bit more forceful.
Exactly what you were asking for, and Joe Gallagher, and he's beginning to flow now here. Mikey Talon, a right hand back from Shahid, a reminder, but you feel Talon's going up the gears. He switches to southpaw, and again trying to befuddle, confuse Fizzy, who is right in front of him and winging from the hip. I mean, it's a brilliant effort, this, from the Bradford boy.
Conor Benn-esque, that was, wasn't it?
Fizzy's got a bit of pop in his shots.
He's good, I like him. I think he's good. I think he's a handful. I did get that down very well. It was really funny. You get a laugh a minute, you had, honestly.
All the time, yeah? Brilliant. All right. Box very well then again, Mikey. All the time they're just looking for an overhand right, okay? Listen, sometimes you're standing and you're just giving a little bit too much rest. That's what I'm saying. That jab, that 1-2, jab, heel jab, slip, right hand, your jab, heel right hook, catch, hook, your jab, and that's the way the tempo's got to go. And all of a sudden he'll go, I can't do this, and he'll take a knee or whatever he does. But he's on the verge now of like, Joe, I've given my best, and you can't allow him get away.
I love listening to Joe Gallagher, legendary trainer. He lives and breathes the passion that comes out of it, and the wisdom as well. He might just feel that Fazan Shahid has given everything, and you don't know, he could hold on the 6 rounds, but it's a good mental thing to say to Mikey in there.
Yeah, some really good highlights there. There was a good body shot that went in from Shahid, but yeah, having someone like Joe Gallagher in your corner to give you those precise, accurate, important instructions in the ring, so important. I mean, look, and outside of the ring, camps, etc. I said that in the previous round. So much to work with for Joe Gallagher when it comes to talent. A really, really good, talented fighter.
I thought you said too much, to be honest. No, I mean, I understand what I do understand what he's saying. He's pretty much saying, be first, but block and counter off it. Every time he throws, take the shot on the gloves, make him pay for it. And then that'll break his heart. And I don't know whether that will, but it's not a bad tactic.
Never been stopped, Shahid, but never stopped anyone as well. And only one KO on the record for Mikey Talon. I knew he'd put one in there. Barry Jones, the former
big
world
hitting man from Cardiff.
That's it.
He's boxing well here, Talon, to be fair.
He's boxing really well this round now.
It's that lead hand, Adam, again. You know, just measuring the distance with that shot. And that will help you, you know, obviously find the range for that right hand.
Oh, that's what he's like. Lovely bit of work.
And punch off of it. Once you get that reaction from your opponent after a feint, it's so important to counter.
Just beginning to hold a bit more now, Shahid. It's getting harder for him in there. These jabs, the uppercuts, the right hands, the precision from the fists of Mikey Talon, who's a good amateur and looking to remain undefeated as a pro. He hasn't lost a round here, but they've all been fairly competitive and tough, and that's credit to Shahid. But will his resistance break?
Up until now, I think this round is quite big here for Talon so far. A lovely body shot again there from Talon. Again, just letting those combinations go, not loading up, nice and smooth, but the distance is right for him.
And these body shots again getting through. Just feel he's in a spot of bother here, Shahid.
He's increased the tempo.
Oh, lovely left it there, a little tip of the shoulder.
Good work here from Mikey Talon. Referee Mark Banks might just have a slightly closer look because he won't want Shahid taking too much, but he's been ever so competitive as long as he has, but the legs barrier beginning to dip.
Yeah, Talon's just increased the tempo, hasn't he? He's taken charge of the pace, but he just increased the tempo this last round and a half.
He's really brave, isn't he, Shahid? But he's being outclassed here, and this is the most one-sided round of the fight. And that's good to see from Mikey Talon in the 5th. Body shot. Really good work from the man from Merseyside.
He needs a half a step back here, Talon. Throw the half a step back and then that shot. Oh.
Wonderful shot. And that might be enough for Team Fizzy. He looks exhausted. He may not even make the count. Mikey Talon will win this by stoppage. What a fantastic 5th round it was for Talon. What an ending. And he is 11-0. And that got better and better, which is the mark of a fighter progressing beautifully.
Absolutely, what a performance. You know, he was in there with somebody who was game and really came to win, and Shahid, but that right uppercut was an absolute peach of a shot, and he was patient. He upped the tempo, Barry, didn't he? And when he found the accuracy, that opening, he took it.
And when he upped the tempo, I think his rhythm was better and his pace was better for him. But certainly, he didn't load up with that shot. That was just proper turning of the body, that was. It was a shot that Shahid didn't see. But also, when he turns into the shot, he gets all the muscles in the back of his body into play without doing. Let's see, he doesn't load up. He just turns beautifully into the shot. He doesn't see it because he's putting him under pressure, pushing him back with those long straight shots. That's a great shot.
Stunning. That is stunning. What a shot! And he's worked for that. He set that trap up lovely, and it's so nice to see him and Joe Gallagher at the end. School never ends.
But that, how smooth
I love that. I exactly thought the same thing. The education, he was going through it again. That was a world-class uppercut. It was a combination on the back of a terrific 5th round. The 4 before he'd won, and hats off to Fazan Shahid for the part he played in it. He couldn't get through, he stopped for the first time, and I think we are looking at somebody who can really go places. His Excellency knows boxing.
He does, and he's picked a very good fighter to follow there in Mikey Talon. I'm telling you, the man's got a very bright future. So much to work with. The speed, the accuracy, the artillery, the setting of the traps, the patience as well that he showed in that fight. Very, very impressive.
Teacher, student, and outside the ropes, she's still a fighter, Natasha Jonas. And well done to this man. Good effort from Fazan Shahid, but Mikey Talon with his 2nd stoppage victory. The countdown to unfinished business well and truly on tonight. Eubank Jr. Ben renewing their epic rivalry only on DAZN. If you haven't purchased already, head to DAZN.com/boxing now to be part of the history.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 3 minutes, 6 seconds of round number 5. Your winner by way of knockout and still undefeated, Mikey the Omen Talon.
The gold, and another golden performance from Mikey Talon, undefeated now in 11. He's only 20. He's got a very, very bright future.
Looks very good, doesn't he? A knockout start to proceedings here tonight. That's what we like to see. And Carl, we've been speaking about this young man for quite a while, and he would have always wanted to know that he needs knockouts on the record. Ultimately, you need wins, and he's got wins. But only 1 knockout on the record. That's something he wants to improve. And now he's sitting on the shots, looks a bit bigger at the flyweight division. We're starting to see that.
Of course, but look, he is only a flyweight, and typically they don't knock people out in the early stages of their career when they're fighting 4 and 6 rounders. As they get the 8, 10, 12, and you've done a little bit more damage, then you can start to take them out. But that was a great knockout. Like, he was really, really hurt there. Lovely uppercut as well. And he's got some rounds in the bank too, so he knocked them out right at the end of the fight. So, I mean, a very good performance and something that him and his team will be very happy with.
Liverpool's always been a hotbed for boxers, right? It's always found someone. Have we found another one?
He's quality.
technically very good. Offense and defense pretty good as well. He's well balanced. I thought that knockout shot was Nassim Hamed-esque. It reminded me of the knockout victory against Tom Boom Boom Johnson back in the day. I'm going way back now, but he was brilliant tonight. Fair play to him. He's just got to remain busy and active now. With this kind of fights, you want to be out again, you know, hopefully just after Christmas, just before, but you want to be busy and active.
Yeah, fantastic start to proceedings here tonight. The crowd starting to make their way in as well. So it's such a big stadium. It probably feels like a few hundreds, a few thousand in here already. Remember, if you are watching this on YouTube, that's it for you. You have to scan the QR code to make sure you can still be watching all the boxing here tonight. And you don't want to miss the fight we've got coming up. It really is a good fight in the 154-pound division. Many are saying this could be fight of the night. Sam Gilley versus Ishmael Davis. Vacant Commonwealth and British titles up for grabs in this one. That's coming up next. Make sure you stay tuned and locked in.
DAZN, the undisputed global home of boxing. Over